Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's The Weekly Wrap. I am your host and your vlogger, your video logger, Jamie Barty. It's late of an evening. It's been a long week, and I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's taken its toll on me. I wanted to do this tonight because so many things just dropped in, right? In so many ways. For those of you that know me, you know my background in entrepreneurship. It started at the age of 7 with my dad at the local markets where I grew up on the Gold Coast of Australia, which is the East Coast in the state of Queensland. And it was at a place called the Carrara Markets. Back then, it was quite literally 1980, 81. Somewhere around there. Could have even been 79, to be honest. I'm not sure of the exact year. And it's interesting. I then subsequently went through the rest of my life having had the mindset of an entrepreneur and the philosophy and the engagement and everything else. And then as we get into the current modern day age being 2022, the year 2022, we're some many decades on from there. And it's interesting because throughout social media and all sorts of gurus and everything, people say, go get a college education, go to university, get your bachelor's, get your master's, do this, do that, whatever it might be. Then you've got on the entrepreneurial side of the pendulum, let's just say, because it swings both ways, or the paradox, right? Interesting when I do that, and I'll come back to this in a second. The infinity symbol and how the paradox works and the balance of yin and yang and the dichotomy of what we're perceived to be the whole, and you need two halves to make the whole. The interesting thing about that, as I think about that, I go back to the feeling of when I was 7, working the markets, cold on a winter's morning, and there was fog set throughout the market. And the feeling that I had then, and to the feeling I've had this week, and especially this evening, hence doing it in this current state of ready to go to bed, from what the week has been. And it's a beautiful thing. And the reason why it's beautiful is I get some memories and some flashbacks to certain things. And as I said about go get your college education, so on and so forth, education's great. But then the entrepreneurial side, and it is a but, which negates what I just said, is just take the path, burn the boats, go and do X, Y, and Z and whatever else. And I've been around long enough now in life to have gained a good insight and being able to make sense of both sides of this. So from dropping out of Miami High School when I was 15, to then running my own businesses for decades, to then going back to school and getting a master's degree, getting an executive MBA, I realized what the continuum is from the extreme of one side and the extreme of the other side, and a whole lot of stuff that's in between. And then it's hit me this week, today, tonight, that none of it matters. For those that say, go get your education, heighten your awareness to academia and the knowledge of the processes and the protocols, and then those that say, do the entrepreneurship thing, burn the boats, go and do X, Y, and Z, and just make a life of it. I actually see both of it, and I think about it quite often as where the merge is of both, where the gateway is, the parallel is for the things to interconnect, right? Like the equilibrium point. Where does the equilibrium point fit? Is it at the peak? Is it a sliding scale? What is it? And I've come to realize and can see now that none of it matters. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you've done. You are where you are now for the very reason of everything you've done. So for me, in the past, that's gotten you to this point now, it's what you do going forward. And I, for one, am extremely grateful and acknowledge that both ends of the paradigm, of the pendulum, are equally as important as each other to the individual that's in the academic space of education and or in the entrepreneurial space of just focus, vision, mission, doing, being, whatever it is that's in your heart, right? The point is, you're going to get naysayers here that talk about the other side. It doesn't matter. What actually matters is where you're at right now, where I'm at right now, and what I do, what means I make, what means I pull together to now create, let's just look at a handful of clay, to create a block of clay, a brick of clay. How do I knead that? Not N-E-E-D, the K-N-E-A-D. How do I knead that? How do I massage that? What do I turn it into? What do I, as a male, manipulate that into something and create something next? The form of clay in some areas of philosophy and basically they say it's creationary, right? Man was born of clay. And I don't actually disagree with that at all. I'm actually more in favor of that. So in the point of kneading what is in my hands right now and massaging that clay, and it's a metaphor for what's here, right? Because it's the energy that we expel, dispel, and carry forward in what we do that really matters. So if you are out there and you're in an academic space being told that you've got to go live this life, or an entrepreneurial space saying that you've got to go do this, and there's this clash, there's this calamitous clash of titans that come together, it all matters. Whether it does matter or doesn't matter, the point is matter is at the center of everything, and what matters is this, right? Is the me, the you, the I, the we, and the together, and what we actually create. So my question to you is, whether you're academically indoctrinated through an education system or whether you're grassroots entrepreneurial from the seat of your ass, the bare bones of your backside, doing what you're doing, my question to you is, how are you doing what you're doing? What is your key motivator and your key driver? Pop it in the comments below. Let me know, and I am absolutely wanting, needing, and hungry to have a conversation on this as to what it is that drives you. What fuel at the Bowser, right? Where am I like this? What fuel are you putting into your Bowser, into your ears, into your eyes? What are you filling yourself up with that's telling you why you've either got to go down the academic path and or the entrepreneurial path, and how is it that you can't merge the both? Because you've got naysayers on both, and you've got the fours on both sides as well. The point is, it's the eclectic mix of the whole that makes us what we are in the societies that we are. For example, I've got a skateboard sitting beside me. I made that 2 years ago. I love skateboards. I make a skateboard. Quite simple. Now, a lot of people look at that and goes like, well, how the heck would you do that? Something completely else different. I made this shirt. People ask me, what does it say? Well, read it. Well, I can't make sense of it. Make sense of it. You know the rest. Where is your creative genius? The creative genius even goes to the professional that's sitting at the CEO level. You can be at a big four accountancy firm. You can be at a bank. You can even be in government. We are all creative beings. What is it that you're creating? What is the fuel that helps you? What are you putting into your ears? What are you listening to? What are you looking at? And what are you dispelling out of your mouth? And more so, the energy you're exerting. What are you building and what are you creating? Pop it into the comments. I would love to have a DM with you, as in a deep and meaningful conversation. It can be private, as in a direct message and or other sorts. I want to expand on this because to me, it's really important right now, especially with the positions that the whole planet's in and the things that are at our fingertips that we can actually knead together, going back to the brick of clay, and kneading as in massaging it and creating some sort of new form around it. Because right now I am in a massive creationary phase. And to phrase that, I want to do a whole lot, I mean a shit ton of good things with good people. And if you're up for that, reach out to me and let's talk, because it is go time for good people doing good things. And I would normally say in good time. However, that good time is here, it's now, it's present. I want to have the conversation with you. So take care. That's it for this weekly's wrap. I am going to have a sleep. See you next week. Bye.